Right, it is April the 1st, 2021. What does that mean? It means the Reebok era is now done. It's finished, kaput. It is officially the first day of the partnership between the UFC and Venum as the fighter kit provider for all UFC athletes. My name is Rahul J. Chan. This is the Battle Camp. Thank you very much for joining me. I've been thinking about this, the UFC-Venum deal over the last week or two, because in the lead up to UFC 260, I saw a couple of journalists mention, and also people just generally mention on Twitter, that UFC 260 is the last event where fighters will be asked to wear Reebok kits. And that time has gone quite quickly, because 2014, it's weird, right? Because 2014 in my head, bloody hell, that's a long time ago, 2014. But I can clearly remember the day that they had the unveiling of the Reebok kits and stuff like that. So it doesn't feel like it was as long ago as it was. And the same for me personally can be said for Venum, because I went back to look at when the announcement was made, because I thought it was probably about 3 or 4 months ago. But no, it's been over 6 months. It was July 2020 when this announcement was made. And I'm a little bit surprised. I'm a little bit surprised at the moment now today, as this is the first day of the deal, that I haven't seen any news about it apart from an article from Mark Raimondi. And when I say news, I don't mean journalists talking about the Reebok deal and how much of a failure it was or anything like that. I'm talking about actual content from the UFC and Venum, right? This is a big deal for Venum, and this is a big deal for the UFC. And just the fact that nobody's spoken about it, I haven't seen a single image of a Venum kit at all. And who knows, maybe I'm looking in the wrong places. But I mean, you're doing a pretty bad job if I miss it, because I've been home all day and I'm not working today. So I've spent a lot of time, wasted a lot of time on social media today, and I haven't seen anything. I haven't seen anything. So another thing that kind of concerns is a strong word, but like I've been kind of pondering, is the fact that okay, here's an example, right? So right now I'm wearing an Arsenal football kit, right? Arsenal football jersey, sacro jersey if you're American. Hey, where's your sacro cleats, man? But like, this is Arsenal, right? And it's Puma. So we used to be sponsored by Puma up until about 3 years ago, and then Puma were taken over by Adidas, right? But the announcement was made, and an official announcement with Arsenal and Adidas. And then I can understand why Venum haven't said anything up until now, because in football it's the same way. Adidas don't release any images or anything like that to do with Arsenal until their contract officially begins. But what they do in the lead up to them taking over as the official sponsor for kits and kind of apparel for the team, you see a lot of leaks of images online of, oh, this is what the away kit might look like. Oh, this is what the home kit might look like. Oh, this is what the goalkeeper might be wearing. Oh, hold on a minute, that's naughty. That's what the training kit might look like. And we've seen nothing from Venum. We've seen nothing from Venum in terms of this UFC deal. And they usually do that, float these ideas out, let people have a little look and see what the temperature is and see what the reaction is. Like, Venum themselves have got a thankless task. It's impossible for Venum to please all 500 fighters, or however many fighters there are on the UFC roster. Like, it's this whole idea, this whole thought of having one supplier for the whole entire roster, it's just so counterintuitive, counterproductive. It doesn't make any sense to me, right? So going back to my team, Arsenal, like all the players in the squad, all the coaching staff, they're a squad, they're a team. They're meant to be working in unison for the good of the club. So if they're all dressed in the same clothes, fine, because they're representing that one club. These fighters aren't supposed to be representing the UFC, because they're meant to be independent contractors to start with. And off the back of that, as a fighter, you're expected to be able to, or no, that's wrong to say. You're not expected to do anything. But as a fighter, you know that the better you are at connecting with your audience, the more money you're likely to earn, right? So the more of a character you are, or just how good you are on the microphone, or how articulate you are on the microphone, which is something I'm struggling to be today. For some reason, my words just ain't coming out. But you know that has a direct correlation with how much you're paid, right? And one of the things that fighters were able to use before this Reebok deal came about in 2014 is wear clothes or kit on fight day that represents them. Like, you can, like, GSP coming out in his Karate Kid outfit. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think I've used BJ Penn, like his shorts with a black belt on there, because obviously he was a prodigy in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and stuff like that. Like, everyone had something or wore something that represented them, right? And what UFC did with the original deal with Reebok is strip all of that away and take away any kind of individualism that you saw in the Octagon by giving everyone the same kit. And then they put the prices up so crazy. Like, it was so expensive to buy the kit. And like, if I'm a Khabib fan or if I'm a Conor McGregor fan, like, what is in that item that is going to draw me to buy that? Because all it is they're both exactly the same. One just says McGregor on the back and the other one just says Nurmagomedov on the back. There's no personality in that, and nothing there to make me say, you know what, I want to buy that to support my man. It didn't make any sense. It makes no sense whatsoever. The reason why I'm talking about this is there's a lot of mistakes and errors that Reebok made along the way that Venum can look at and learn from. But as I said, it's a very, very difficult task to please everybody. One thing that I think Venum can do, and I don't know whether it was Reebok themselves or the UFC that really enforced this rule. During the Reebok deal, I seem to remember something with Donald Cerrone wanting to, something with the American flag that he stitched on the inside of his shorts because they wouldn't let him have it on the outside of his shorts, something along those lines. You've got a guy called Arjun Bulla, who used to be, he is a heavyweight fighter, but he used to fight in the UFC. He's now at ONE FC, and he used to wear a turban on the way to the ring before joining the UFC, because that represents his faith, his religion, and he wasn't allowed to wear that. And you're thinking to yourself, what's that? Do Reebok make turbans? Is he trying to wear a Nike turban that goes against the policy? Like, why are you stopping people from just showing who they are as individuals? Like, it made no sense. And that's one thing that Venum can or the UFC, whoever it is, can 100% like learn from. Like, don't stop people from being themselves, because it's counterproductive for the fighter and it's counterproductive for you as an organization. But yeah, man, it's all weird, because the next event is April the 10th, which is a week Saturday. That's not very long to show us, or just show people what this stuff is gonna look like. And I haven't heard or seen any fighter talk about, yeah, you know, I've been in contact with Venum and we've been testing this, or show, you know, they've been running ideas past us or whatever. It just all feels a little bit haphazard. I feel like the UFC thought that with the Reebok deal, they were going to get this, you know, massive, loads of orders in because it's Reebok and, you know, people like certain fighters and stuff. But they forgot that the stuff didn't represent the fighters that people might like. So with this Venum deal, at least, you know, Venum are specialists in kind of martial arts wear, combat sportswear. So you'd assume from a functional standpoint, their stuff is going to be on point, you know. There won't be any wardrobe malfunctions with the Venum, you'd hope. But I don't know, it's interesting, man. It'd be interesting to see what it looks like. Aside from it, I mean, the fighters themselves, there's a slight raise that fighters are going to be getting from this Venum kit sponsor, from what they got with Reebok. But it's not really worth talking about. It's like $500 in some instances, $1,000 or $2,000 in others. And the whole idea of the Reebok thing to start with was to guarantee fight, from a UFC standpoint, was to guarantee fighters a minimum amount and help them stop having issues with sponsors like they were having previously, according to the UFC. Most fighters would beg to differ with that, and this Venum thing isn't gonna change much for fighters. And the fact that it was just announced, oh, we're moving from Reebok to Venum, and we're going into a different territory, and I don't really like getting into this territory, but it is what it is, right? So this deal was announced, and it just feels like there was no consultation with the fighters. There's no kind of details, and as far as I can see online of how long this deal is for, what the value of the deal is. All of this stuff is a big problem. But I mean, you know, it is what it is, isn't it? There's nothing I can do or nothing you can do sitting there watching me talking about it. But I just hope the stuff looks good, man. I just hope it looks good, and I hope that they're able to supply fighters with stuff that represents them well. And I hope fighters are allowed to customize their kits a little bit. Like, as long as they're not sticking a big Adidas badge or over the Venom, do you know what I mean? Like, I hope, like, for example, over here, boxers, you see like a lot of boxers have English boxers or British boxers. They have their football team's club crest on their shorts, right? And I'd imagine someone like Darren Till or Paddy the Baddy Pimblett, who's just signed with the UFC, if they were allowed to, they'd have the Liverpool logo on their shorts when they fight in the octagon. And I'm pretty sure there's different things that mean a lot to different fighters across the UFC roster, as long as it's not kind of, you know, I don't know, racist or offensive to anyone. Why not let fighters customize their own kit a little bit to show who they are? As long as the base of it is just that Venom shorts or that the Venom gear, it's not hurting anyone. Do you know what I mean? It's not doing anyone any damage. That's the least you could do, really, isn't it? I mean, like, everything with the UFC in terms of how fighters are represented is so bloody cookie cutter and so samey from week to week, right? Like, it's difficult to tell. I mean, I'm not talking about now, while we're in the age of kind of no crowd, no audience and whatnot. It's difficult to tell the difference of whether you're watching a numbered pay-per-view event or a fight night. Do you know what I mean? Apart from one might have a larger crowd than the other, but everything else will just look the same. One of the things that I personally love about boxing is when it's a big fight, they make you feel like it's a big fight. For example, Wilder against Tyson Fury 2, you saw the way Tyson Fury came out on that throne with those women holding the, whatever it's called, like stretcher, but it's not a stretcher. You know what I mean? And he had the crown on with that old song playing in the background, and Deontay Wilder came out in whatever that was, that black kind of zombie, I don't know what it was. But do you know what I mean? At least they put some thought into coming into putting on a show for us, the fans. AJ at Wembley, like the amount of nights he's had at Wembley, Anthony Joshua coming out with rappers and stuff like that. Canelo just recently, man, his entrance for his last fight against, who is it against? Well, he beat him quite easily. I forgot who it was against, but you know what I mean? Like, he came out with that rapper, J Balvin and stuff like that. Like, there's none of that in the UFC. So at least just let the guys and girls just represent themselves a little bit with these Venom kits. That's what I think needs to happen, 100%. But yeah, that's my thoughts on this Venom deal. I really am looking forward to seeing what happens or what things look like. And I'm just, like I say, shocked. I'm quite frankly, I am shocked. I'm just shocked that because, like, there's nothing, it doesn't seem like there's anything in planned for, right, we're holding this event to unveil what this Venom kit's going to look like. What is it going to be? Just on fight week, you're just going to see people walking about in Venom tracksuits. And that's the first look we're going to get. It's a bit odd, if you ask me. Feels like they need to make more of a deal of this. But it is what it is, I guess. But yeah, anyway, let me know what you guys think. Put your comments below about the stuff that I've said. If there's anything that I've missed and you want to mention and just kind of talk to me about it, feel free to put it in the comments. If you've liked this video, like the video. If you haven't liked the video, like the video anyway. Share it with a friend. I'll catch you guys next time.